Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Cadet 3rd Class Ginger Loback. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the United States Air Force Academy and our 33rd National Character and Leadership Symposium. This year's NCLS aligns with the 250th anniversary of America's founding. And to help celebrate this, we have a Nashville Storytellers concert featuring Tim Nichols and Lee Thomas Miller, accompanied by your United States Air Force Academy band, Wild Blue Country. Tim Nichols was inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2017 and is a Grammy Award-winning songwriter with nearly 24 #1 hits. A premier tunesmith, Nichols co-wrote the 2004 Tim McGraw hit, Live Like You Were Dying, which held #1 position for 10 consecutive weeks. The track remains the only song in history to sweep every major country accolade, including the 2005 Grammy for Best Country Song and Song of the Year honors from the Country Music Association, Academy of Country Music, Billboard, and others. His work has also been recorded by icons including Alan Jackson, Reba McEntire, Blake Shelton, Faith Hill, Trace Adkins, Leanne Womack, and Keith Whitley. Lee Thomas Miller is an award-winning songwriter and former president of the Nashville Songwriters Association International. A native of Nicholasville, Kentucky, he earned a Bachelor of Music in Theory and Composition from Eastern Kentucky University in 1990. Over a distinguished career, Miller has achieved 7 #1 country singles and earned 3 Grammy Award nominations for Country Song of the Year for the compositions The Impossible, You're Gonna Miss This, and In Color, which swept Song of the Year at the Academy of Country Music and Country Music Association Awards in 2009. His work includes chart-topping hits for artists including Brad Paisley, Tim McGraw, Trace Adkins, as well as cuts by Chris Stapleton and Garth Brooks. It is my honor to now welcome Mr. Nichols and Mr. Miller to the stage.
Way to go. Congratulations, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Thank you, Cadet Lovack. Hey, so listen, like she was saying, don't be shy. You can come on down to the front. Do not be afraid of the songwriters. Do not be afraid. So, National Character and Leadership Symposium. You're about to find out that Lee and I are the characters. Yes. So,
you know, they had this graphic of all of the leadership speakers for today, and everybody is on there except Ulysses S. Grant and Rambo, and then me and him are on there. So I'm not sure who's responsible for that.
Yeah, two of those things were not like the others. Yeah, right. So, you all are the best of the best. And the speakers that you have heard and will be hearing are the best of the best. And in keeping with that best of the best theme, your meeting planners wanted to make sure that you all had the opportunity to hear 2 of the very best songwriters Nashville has to offer. Thank you. Unfortunately, those folks were already booked for today. And so Lee and I are here. And we are 2 of the very best songwriters Nashville has to offer in our price range. And we've also been very fortunate in that we've been able to make a living doing something that we love longer than many of you have been alive. And so we're going to play you a few of the hits we've written. We're going to tell you some of the stories behind those songs. And in keeping with this year's theme, we're going to talk a little bit about courage. So Lee, would you say hey to my buddy Lee Miller? He's going to kick things off here this afternoon with us. Lee Miller.
It is such an honor to be here. We are absolutely not qualified. This is one of the nicer bars we've ever played in. So Thank you for sticking around. That was an incredibly strong opening act that we just saw. We want to thank those guys. We are professional songwriters. That's a thing. That was available to you when you were making your decision what you wanted to do with your life. You chose to save the world. We chose to rhyme words with truck. Okay, so, does anybody like country music?
All right.
Oh, it's going to make it all so much easier. We sit in little rooms with artists, and our job is to help them figure out what they want to say. And any Tim McGraw fans?
Come on.
Well, he ain't here. I was hanging out in the same rooms, same bar rooms Tim McGraw was 30-something years ago when we were trying to decide if this was as bad of an idea as our mothers thought it was. And Tim's done pretty well.
Yeah.
For instance, you know who Tim McGraw is. You know? Tim owns an island, which is beautiful if you like that sort of thing. Here's a song that Tim McGraw did not write. Tim McGraw writes very few of his own songs, and we really like the ones that don't even try.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, anybody from Louisiana?
Hey.
Well, Tim McGraw's from Louisiana, and the only reason he cut this song is because it says New Orleans. This was the #1 record on Tim McGraw. Now, I ain't saying the LA ladies don't know what to do, and I've been in love with New York City a time or two. I've had some Seattle coffee, some Chicago wind, some Kansas wheat fields I'd love to see again. But the fireflies play where the cattails grow. Them southern girls, they talk nice and slow. Kisses sweeter than Tupelo honey, little bit crazy like New Orleans. Memphis blue and Daytona sunny, soft as the cotton in some cut-off jeans. Don't you know there ain't nothing in the whole wide world like a southern girl. Well, a southern girl's mama probably taught her how a lady should act, but a southern girl's probably got a barn somewhere out back. She'll get a little hay in her hair and her tires in the mud. She's been caught in the rain and washed in the blood. Likes cherries in her coat, takes a little sip, comes over to me with them sunburned lips and them kisses sweeter than Tupelo honey, little bit crazy like New Orleans. Memphis blue and Daytona sunny, soft as the cotton in some cut-off jeans. Don't you know there ain't nothing in the whole wide world like a southern girl. Southern girl, rock the world. 𝐒𝐨𝐧𝐠, go girls, put on a country song, we'll dance all night long. Well, if you've ever seen Atlanta heat up when the sun goes down, well then, fellas, come on, you know what I'm talking about. Talking about kisses sweeter than Tupelo honey, little bit crazy like New Orleans. Memphis blue and Daytona sunny, soft as the cotton in some cut-off jeans. Don't you know there ain't nothing in the whole wide world like a southern girl. Southern girl, rock the world. 𝐒𝐨𝐴𝐧𝐠, go curls, put on a country song, we'll dance all night. Southern girl, rock my world. hazel eyes and golden curls. Put on a country song, we'll dance all night long.
That's Lee Miller right there. #1 song for Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw did not write that song. That guy wrote that song. Now, that's right. Now, I want to say just kind of right up front, you know, music business, it's tough, it's competitive. You have to deal with a lot of rejection. Lee and I have taken a lot of fire over the years, straight to the ego. We have been seriously wounded. If there was such a thing as like an emotional Purple Heart, we would be highly decorated, highly decorated. But let me tell you about this first song I'm going to play you, where the idea came from. The idea for this song came from a bad audio book. Now, if I'd been paying a little closer attention, I feel like just the name of the main character alone should have tipped me off that this book was not going to be a literary masterpiece. The main character's name was Texas Jack. Cool, a cowboy guy from Texas. But not Texas Jack Cody or Texas Jack Hickok or some other cool cowboy name. No. This dude's name was Texas Jack Carmine. I don't know if he was supposed to be an Italian cowboy. That should have tipped me off. On this particular day of listening, things were not going well for Texas Jack in Texas. So Texas Jack decided he needed to get out of Texas. And he figured he would decide where to go by flipping a coin. If it came up heads, he would head west to California. Tails, he would go south to Mexico. Now that's when that lame, sorry audio book got really good to me, because I heard an idea in there, and I believed I could take that idea and turn it into a down payment on a house. Yes. So I wrote this song, and I put it in Jody Messina's mailbox. Now, at that time, Jody Messina was a brand new artist working on her very first album. So I put this song in her mailbox. Several months later, Jody Messina put a big, fat check in my mailbox. It was fantastic. I've put many songs in Jody Messina's mailbox since then. No big, fat check. But this first time, hey, baby, what do you say we just get lost? Okay, has anybody heard, does that sound familiar? Has anybody heard that song before? Yeah, sure. That launched Jody Messina's career, that song. It's been the biggest song of her career. And I can tell you without fail, other than just right then, after I sing the first line of that song, Lee's seen it over and over and over, audiences large and small always break into spontaneous, thunderous applause. So when it didn't happen just then, I knew something wasn't right, and then it hit me that there was total silence where normally there's thunderous applause. I realize we're just getting to know each other, but I already get a very strong sense that you are a very sharp group. And I believe you can grasp a new concept quickly. Which is why I'm going to give you another opportunity here to help me feel really good, not only about myself, but my life's work. Hey, baby, what do you say we just get lost? That's more like it. Leave this one-horse town like two rebels without a cause. I've got people in Boston, ain't your daddy still in Des Moines? We can pack up tomorrow, tonight, let's flip a coin. Oh, heads Carolina, tails California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer, up in the mountains, down by the ocean, where it don't matter, as long as we're going somewhere together. I've got a quarter, heads Carolina, tails California. Now, when we do this kind of thing, which we do a lot for corporations and whatnot, we always want these shows to be fun and entertaining. But also, if just for a moment, I like for them also to be informational and educational. And based on that, there is a word for the day. And the word for today is interpolation. Now, interpolation, that's a big word for a hillbilly songwriter. And I want to do my best to explain to you this particular interpretation of interpolation. Let's say a country singer named 𝐂𝐨𝐮𝐫𝐢 takes a song like Heads Carolina, Tails California, and he interpolates that into a sequel song, into a spin-off song, a part 2 song. Now, what I didn't know initially about the business end of an interpolation that I know now is the writers of the original song being interpolated receive 50% of the new interpolated song. Needless to say, your old buddy Tim here is a big fan of interpolations. Tim McGraw said it best when he sang, "I like it, I love it, I want some more of it." I was out with the boys catching up in a neon light. Didn't know till we walked in, it was karaoke night. She was in a circle of girls chasing a shot with a light. She was laughing, they were daring her to get on the mic. One of them walked up and turned in her name. Next thing I knew, man, she was up on the stage singing Heads Carolina, Tails California. Maybe she'd fall for a boy from South Georgia. She's got the bar in the palm of her hand, 'cause she's a 90s country fan like I am. Hey, I've got a Chevy, she could flip a quarter. I drive her anywhere from here to California. When this song is over, I've got to find her. She had me at Heads Carolina. She had me at Heads Carolina.
Tim Nichols.
Interpolation. Thank y'all so much. Hey. Okay, y'all started out a little slow, but that was a wonderful recovery. Way to go. Sharp group, Lee. Sharp group, LT.
Yeah, you all are so impressive. We've been here all day. We've had a couple of amazing guides that have showed us around. Ginger and Olivia, class of 28.
Yeah, oh boy.
And it's just, it's so impressive, you know, the discipline. And I mean, we ate lunch with you guys. That was the most impressive thing I think I may have ever seen, you know. Although I really wasn't finished, and everybody let me know, oh, no, you're finished. Let's go. You know, I don't know what happens if you linger behind, but it can't be good. You guys are my kids' age, roughly, and, you know, I was just sitting there back there as I've been watching you all day, and your parents are so proud of you. This is such a great accomplishment you've already done. And, you know, I was just sitting there thinking, your parents, you may think your parents are scared because you've signed up to put yourself in potential danger, but the fact is, your parents haven't slept a wink since the day you were born. So they've been scared for 20-something years. And quick story, me and my wife, we couldn't have kids. So we adopted. We adopted again 3 times. And since we couldn't have kids, we were in control of it. And my wife even said, we can control this. We just don't adopt anymore. It was 8 weeks later. She started throwing up. She said she had the flu. Well, today the flu is 20 years old. 2 boys, 2 girls. And we wrote a song about my kids. Trace Atkins recorded it. There's a lot of parents sitting out there tonight. So the parts of this song that you don't understand, well, we wrote it for your parents anyway. She was staring out the window of an SUV, plain and saying, I can't wait to turn 18. Said, I'll make my own money and I'll make my own rules. Mama put the car in the park out there in front of the school, and she kissed her head, said I was just like you. Sing it if you know it. You're gonna miss this, you're gonna want this back, you're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times. Take a good look around. Well, you may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this. Before she knows it, she's a brand new bride, one-room apartment. Her daddy stops by. He tells her it's a nice place. She says it'll do for now. Starts talking about babies and buying a house. Daddy shakes his head. He says, baby, just slow down. You're gonna miss this, you're gonna want this back, you're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times. Take a good look around. Well, you may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this. Yeah. And 5 years later, there's a plumber working on the water heater. Dogs barking, phones ringing, one kid's crying, one kid's screaming, and she keeps apologizing. He says, they don't bother me, I got 2 babies of my own. One's 36, one's 33. It's hard to believe, but you're gonna miss this. You're gonna want this back. You're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times. Take a good look around. Well, you may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this.
Woo! Man. Wow. That kind of got me. But I'm a sensitive guy. I'm so sensitive, I can tear up when a home team wins a coin toss. That's how sensitive I am, buddy. Yes, sir. So, all courage is not created equal. There's the kind of courage it takes when you're putting your life on the line, defending your country. And then there's that courage that you need to possess when you're having that face-to-face, man-to-man sit down with the love of your life's father. When you want to ask for his blessing, ask for her hand. There's the courage it takes when you have to tell him that your plan is to move his precious daughter to Nashville, Tennessee, where you plan to provide for her by writing hit country songs. when you've never written a hit country song? Courage. Now, speaking of hit country songs, let me play you a song that I wrote that was just out a year or so ago by a relatively new guy on the country music scene, but he's doing great. Has anybody heard of Zach Top? Have any Zach Top fans? There we go. So Zach at the CMA Awards here back, I guess, in November, won Best New Artist. And so this song we wrote that I'm getting ready to play you, we were in L.A. a couple of weeks ago for the Grammy Awards. We were there, was nominated for Best Country Song. We did not win, but that's okay. It's an honor to be nominated. I mean, it really is. So I'm just going to leave it at that. It's an honor to be nominated. And, but this song, the title even speaks a bit to the Air Force Academy Honor Code. The song is called I Never Lie. Well, it's been some time. You still look like an angel. I heard you're doing fine. Got promoted back in April, and you met someone. Your dad says he's okay. Well, I've never been better. Things are going my way. I sleep like a baby. I never show up late for work. I don't drink whiskey. I don't know how it feels to hurt. Oh, and I ain't been lonely since you said goodbye. Wish I could say I miss you. Oh, but you know I never lie. Well, I met somebody too. She's a model out in L.A., and she's begging me to move. She says Malibu is really great. Ain't decided if I'm going or not, but at the end of the day, I sleep like a baby. I never show up late for work. Oh, and I don't drink whiskey. I don't know how it feels to hurt. Oh, and I ain't been lonely since you said goodbye. Wish I could say I miss you. Oh, but you know I never lie. Well, I've never been better. Things are going my way. I sleep like a baby. I never show up late for work. Oh, and I don't drink whiskey. I don't know how it feels to hurt. Oh, and I ain't been lonely since you said goodbye. Wish I could say I miss you. Oh, but you know I never lie. I never lie, Zach Top.
Tim Nichols.
Thank you so much. So from Merle Haggard's The Fightin' Side of Me to Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA, country music has a long history of supporting America and the brave men and women who defend it. In 2003, Toby Keith wrote and recorded American Soldier. This year, we're celebrating 250 years of freedom. In honor of that, Here's Wild Blue Country to perform American Soldier.
I'm just trying to be a father, raise a daughter and a son, be a lover to the mother, everything to everyone. Up and at 'em bright and early, I'm all business in my suit. I'm dressed up for success, from my head down to my boots. I don't do it for the money, there's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for the glory, I just do it anyway. Providing for our futures, my responsibility. Yeah, I'm real good under pressure, being all that I can be. I can't call in sick on Monday when the weekend's been too strong. I just work straight through the holiday, sometimes all night long. You can bet that I stand ready when the wolf growls at the door. Hey, I'm solid, hey, I'm steady, hey, I'm true down to my core. And I'll always do my duty, no matter what the price. I've counted up the cost, I know the sacrifice. Oh, and I don't want to die for you, but if dying's asked of me, I'll bear that cross with honor, 'cause freedom don't come free. Yeah, I'm an American soldier, an American. Beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I'll always do what's right. I'm out here on the front line, sleep in peace tonight. American soldier, I'm an American soldier. An American soldier, an American. Beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I'll always do what's right. I'm out here on the front line, sleep in peace tonight. American soldier, I'm an American, an American, an American soldier.
Wild Blue Country. Yes, sir.
A big hand for our new band.
Going to be in Tulsa on Tuesday night.
Unbelievable.
So, the day I wrote this next song with my buddy Craig Wiseman, it's just like any other day. We got together at the crack of 11. I have a t-shirt that says, "Music is the reason I get up every afternoon." We were hanging out at Craig's office, having coffee, making small talk. We hadn't even gotten around to, "So what do you feel like writing today?" I was sharing a story with Craig I had heard just the day before about a friend of ours who had gone in for a routine physical. This guy was young and healthy, strong. He's going in for his annual checkup. A few days later, he gets word from his doctor that his days were numbered, and the numbers did not go very high. Well, our friend had always wanted to strap on a parachute and jump from a perfectly good airplane. And when he thought his time was short, he did that. Yes. And then he found out that the lab had gotten his blood work mixed up with someone else's. He's not dying, he's fine. But he wanted to hang on to that feeling. He wanted to remember what that felt like. That time and tomorrow is not promised to us. And so the way he did that, our buddy has now gone on to jump from over 700 perfectly good airplanes. Well, that story reminded Craig of another story he'd heard on NPR about a woman who'd been diagnosed with cancer. She said while she had time, she wanted to go mountain climbing in the Rockies. So we started talking about living and dying and how when you get bad news like that, it can change your whole perspective on life in an instant. And we started coming up with lines that had living and dying in them, thinking that could possibly be the title of a song. And we were kicking around ideas like dying to live and dying and living when Craig said, hey man, how about live like you were dying? I was like, dude, let's write that. Let's write live like you were dying. So we got about halfway through it, and my son had football practice that afternoon, and I wanted to get to his practice. And so we thought, since we started late, totally cool to make up for it and quit early. Little insight into the mind of a songwriter. Craig called me back that night. It was about 10:30. I was downstairs in my basement home office, man cave. We finished the song over the phone. Now, Lee will tell you many times we as songwriters, we tend to think that our latest song is our greatest song. And we always want our latest, greatest songs to be recorded by the biggest stars in the business, like Kenny Chesney or Carrie Underwood or Luke Combs. That's all well and good, but about 99% of the time, the biggest stars in the business do not like our latest, greatest songs. More often than not, we get word that there's a new artist that likes our song. We don't like that all that much because you all don't know the new artist and you don't call your radio station and request the new artist's songs. And that has a direct impact on our ability to walk into a Ford dealership and pay cash for a brand new Ford F-150 Platinum Edition pickup truck. That's right. We knew that Tim McGraw was starting to look for songs for a new project now. Tim McGraw being at the top of the country music food chain, so to speak, that's the first place we went. And this time, we got our 1%, where one of the biggest stars in the business liked our latest, greatest song. He said, I love this. I'm going to record it. And he did. He made it the title of the album, made it the first single. It stayed at #1 for 10 weeks. It won Song of the Year at the CMA Awards in Nashville and the ACM Awards in Las Vegas, and it even won a Grammy for Best Country Song. Now, I'm going to shoot y'all straight here this evening. Winning a Grammy is very, very cool. Yes. And if you ever get the opportunity to win a Grammy, you should totally do it because it's awesome. However, there are things cooler than winning a Grammy. If you can write a song like the song Lee's getting ready to play next, and you start hearing from people all around the country, literally around the world, people feel compelled to share with you what one of your songs means to them. Now, it's been 21 years since Tim debuted Live Like You Were Dying at the Academy of Country Music Awards in Las Vegas. And over the past 21 years, Craig and I have heard so many amazing, wonderful stories that people have shared with us about what Live Like You Were Dying has meant to them. And we have been blessed by and we're grateful for every one of those. But the one that has stuck with me the most was we heard from a woman and she said, there's that line in your song that says, I gave forgiveness that I'd been denying. She said, the first time I heard that line in your song, I had not spoken to my father in 15 years. We had a big blow up, and I didn't call him, and he didn't call me, and we didn't talk for 15 years till I heard that line. I gave forgiveness that I'd been denying. She said, I picked up the phone, and I called my dad, and we have a relationship now. I will tell you, my friends, that is way cooler than winning a Grammy. He said I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me when the moment came to stop me on a dime. He said I spent most of the next day looking at the x-rays, talking about the options, talking about sweet time. I asked him when it sank in, this might really be the real end. How's it hit you when you get that kind of news? Said, man, what'd you do? He said, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Blue Man 2, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness. I was denying, and he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. Amen to that. He said I was finally the husband that most of the time I wasn't, and I became a friend would like to have. And all of a sudden going fishing, it wasn't such an imposition. And I went 3 times that year, I lost my dad. He said, I finally read the good book, and I took a good, long, hard look at what I'd do if I could do it all again. And then,
Put your hands together.
I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Blue Man 2, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness. I was denying, and he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying, like tomorrow was a gift. You've got eternity to think about what you do with it. Oh, what would I do with it? Oh, what did I do with it? Oh, what would I do with it? Sing it with us, come on. I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Blue Man 2, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I watched that eagle as it was flying. Yeah, yeah. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. Yeah, sing it with us, come on. To live like you were dying. Live like you were dying, yeah, yeah. To live like you were dying. One more time. To live like you were dying. Start the rock door right there. Go, Bobby.
How good is that?
That was fun.
Thank you so much for having us, and God bless you. Thank you for your service, and what an honor it is to come out here and participate in this beautiful event. We'll end with this. I wrote this song with Jamie Johnson and James Otto. We wrote it about our grandfathers. Country music is so popular now, they let the songwriters do shows. Right? So we go everywhere and do these shows where we tell the stories behind the songs and show you how they sounded the day we wrote them. And as we go around the country and play this song, people come up to me and tell me that their grandfather left it in the will for this song to be sang at the funeral. The day we wrote it, the one mission we had was to write it about our grandfathers, and it's a little movie about my grandfather. My grandfather was a tobacco farmer in Nicholasville, Kentucky. He'd never been out of the state of Kentucky until he was drafted. They put him in a tank, this anti-aircraft unit. The first place they sent him was this base in Boston for training, and he was going to be in Boston for a while. So they let him take his young bride with him. Now, the most important thing that happened in Boston, Massachusetts in World War II is Virgil knocked my grandmother up. Then they sent him to Europe. Almost 82 years ago, Virgil stepped out of a Higgins boat into the English Channel onto Omaha Beach. The first time my grandfather saw my father was almost 3 years old. Virgil walked across France and Belgium and Holland, and Luxembourg, all the way to the Rhine River. He was some of the first boots on the ground in Germany. When they got to where they had blown out the bridges, Virgil and his buddies are the guys that sit and shot down the Nazi planes while the engineers built the bridges back. Virgil was there when they discovered the concentration camps. And he was there when they ended the damn war. This song came out. It was a big hit. It did a lot of stuff. It won a whole lot of awards. But more than anything that I'm proud of in the world is I get to go around and tell Virgil's story of a man who went into the army as a private and he came out as a private, but somehow along the way saved the world. This one's for Virgil. I said, Grandpa, what's this picture here? It's all black and white. Ain't real clear, is that you there? He said, I was 11. Times were tough back in 35. That's me and Uncle Joe just trying to survive a cotton farm and a Great Depression. And if it looks like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other, you should have seen it in color. This one here was taken overseas in the middle of hell in 1943. In the wintertime, almost see my breath. Well, that was my tail gunner, old Johnny McGee. He was a high school teacher from New Orleans. Had my right through the day we met. And if it looks like we were scared to death, like a couple of kids just trying to save each other, you should have seen should have seen it in color. This one is my favorite one. That's me and Grandma in the summer sun, all dressed up the day we said our vows. You can't tell it here, but it was hot that June. That rose is red and her eyes are blue. And just look at that smile, I was so proud. That's the story of my life, right there in black and white. And if it looks like we were scared to death, a couple of kids just trying to save each other, you should have seen it in color. Pictures worth 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered. You should have seen it in color. You said pictures worth 1,000 words, but you can't see what those shades of gray keep covered. You should have seen it in color. You should have seen it in color.
Lee Thomas Miller,
Tim Nichols.
Wild Wild Country, thank you so much.
Thank you.